Hey, it's Rena. A few of you asked me to give you, instead of going back through all my videos, to give you a little summation about summer's passing, about what happened. I know you've been kind of confused because it's in bits and pieces as I get the information, and Summer has not contacted me for I'd say about maybe 3 weeks, and I don't feel her presence. I've been trying to work on the Gabby case, which I've gotten some information, but I'm not a, a card reader, so to speak, just a card reader. Not to say that isn't important. I read cards too, and I use them as I know all kinds of divination, except dowsing. I don't know anything about, or Reiki or things like that, but I know well. I know some palmistry and I know a little bit about everything because I grew up with New Age. But what people don't seem to understand is that I get most of my information from visions. And when I don't get visions, I can do the tarot, but it's not as accurate, and I feel it's not as close to what I see in visions. And some people have been saying, come on, get on with the rest of it. It's that I prefer to use my visions. I don't want to use a spirit box because I have never used one. I've never had to use one. And visions don't just aren't like an off on switch. It's just, it doesn't happen like that. And when I'm sick, which I've been, I usually don't get visions. My body needs to rest, so my mind rests too. So I haven't been posting as much because I haven't been feeling well. The vaccine it made me sick. So I'm not getting a second one, obviously. I have my doctor's note. But anyway, so I'm mostly a psychic. I see signs and symbols all around me, things I've looked at 1,000 times, and suddenly I'll notice something. And I'm not so much a reader as I am a psychic. And when I feel something or something said to me, whether it's daytime or nighttime, that's my most accurate um, feeling. And as I see my visions later as they develop, I may have seen it a week ago, but a week later, things may be added on to it. Like I can see the picture clearer. And so that's why I don't post all the time because I need to see visions. I can give you more information, and it's not like I don't want to do true crime all the time. I had the prophecy vision this morning, and I've had some more feelings about the Brian Laundrie case, but I want to do the summation about Summer, about what I'm not going to go into the early stuff, what she showed me, the other things, because it doesn't have to do with how she died. Um, at the beginning, when she first made contact, it was with a candle in the dark, and then I knew it would, and started to come pretty fast. And I've never connected with a spirit like this. I've talked to dead people and spirits, but for some reason, the connection was so strong. I saw her in the house. I saw her ghost. I'd see an outline. I could feel her. I could feel her presence. I had so many visions and connections with Summer, and they stopped 3 weeks ago, and I suspect why. I know why. But anyway, what I did see, what she showed me about how she died was, and I also knew at the beginning, um, she told me who did it by three different, I wanted to know who. She told me that she showed me in a vision, and it was, I'm not going to tell you the whole vision, a paper dragon, like a Chinese New Year's dragon. And I did check up the I thought of Chinese New Year, okay? Because I don't know that much about the Chinese culture except that they animal thing. But anyway, so I thought of Chinese New Year. So I thought that she's telling me something because it was stuck out. It was out of the ordinary. I could tell when somebody's trying to tell me something. So it turned out that it was one of the years was the year Don was born, the year of the dragon. And then sometimes they said it was 1965, but they said that they sometimes used the overlapping years. So there was, but it was close enough. Plus, then I had a bathroom scale, and I've looked at the thing 1,000 times, and it was just sitting there. I was taking a bath, and I noticed on the back of the scale were like two threes, and they kind of went like that, like, and they were together. They were next to each other. And I said, why didn't I ever notice that before? I was sitting there, and when I got out, I turned the scale upside down, and I looked at it, and it was WW, like two W's on top of each other. I was thinking, oh my God, Don's middle name is Wesley. What? And they said I read somewhere he sometimes used the name Wesley Wells. And that was another thing. This all happened within 2 days. And that was another thing that she was telling me something because I asked her, who did this to you? And then the third thing was somebody told me, one of my subs or somebody else, that he had a dragon tattoo, and that was enough for me. She was pointing the finger at him. And in other visions, she also pointed, it was in a courtroom, it was about three times, and the courtroom was full of people, and she was standing at the front, and Don and Candace were squirming in the front seat of the courtroom, the front bench. There was no like partition like there usually is, and then the judges thing. She was at the front, and she was pointing her finger at them, and that was her accusation. And I knew it was them. They did it. They did something to her. And I also knew that her dog went with her. I just knew it. And then when Candace said in one of the videos that they later muted out, when Mike or Chris McDonough asked the video at the house, where's Lucky? You know, where's Summer's dog? And Candace turned and she said, he's deceased. And then they later muted that. I know exactly when she said it because she was closing the door. She was locking the door to the house. And anyway, I know. And then nothing was ever mentioned about Lucky again. And I know that she was buried with her dog. But anyway, she showed me so many things. And so the night then I saw, she showed me herself sitting in the basement on something. She was sitting on either a chair, a chest, a bed, something. And Don was at the back door. And I could see through the glass, and I could also see through the wood. And he was furious, and he was rattling the door because she had locked him out. And she was terrified. And she just sat there like she couldn't move because she didn't know what to do, because if she ran up, tried to get out, he would catch her because there wasn't much room for her to escape. And he was absolutely furious at her. He was drunk and he was out of control. And he was like shaking that door, and I could see, and I was scared for her. It was like I was like right behind her, like looking, like I could see her hair. And then I saw a powder. She showed me a powder pistol, an old antique pistol. And I don't know that much about guns, but it was like it had a roundish top, and it had gold, like brass, wood, and metal, and it was like suspended in the air. She showed me that. and it was against a black, like a black gray background. And I later found out from other people that that's what he used usually because he wasn't allowed to have a real gun because he was a felon. And that was the kind of pistol that they used for black powder. And I didn't know that. And I was like, oh my God. And then I looked at the one that the police had confiscated after the 2020 incident of domestic abuse. I'm sure they took it away from him, but who's to say they didn't have another one? And then I saw a picture of Don and Candace looking down at something that was on the ground or on a mattress or on a bed or something low to the ground. And Candace said, did you not, I know this is not something she would say, like her wording, did you not see that she's bleeding? And he was like horrified. He says, I think I killed her. And the two of them were just like in shock. And then I saw a picture of someone's lower body. And it was, first I thought it was Summer because I knew it was Summer they were talking about on the ground or on the floor or on a bed or something about her. She was bleeding. And I realized these legs weren't Summers. They were a big person, with shorts on, like low, below the knee shorts. And it wasn't Summers, it was Summers' blood on, and it looked like Candace's shorts. I could only see the bottom half of her body, like she'd been cradling her in her lap. And there wasn't a lot of blood, but I felt, and then she told me Ben Hill Road, she told me Hawkinsville, and she showed me a place where there was a well, there was a tree, there was a bridge, old stone bridge. It was all overgrown. It was so overgrown, like you would have had to it would take you 5 minutes to walk like 4 feet. And there was an old railroad track, a couple pieces of track, and a rail cart. And I was so close to the cart, I could see it so clearly. I could see the rust on it, and I could touch it. It was so close, and I could feel it. And I knew that's where she was. These things weren't they were shown in the same picture, but they weren't that close together. Like they're within a certain distance. She showed me that. And then I knew that I saw him drive her out right on to Beech Tree from Ben Hill. I think that those pictures in the car, he shot her in the abdomen. I know because I felt the pain. I felt her spirit was over me when I was having some of these visions about the shooting. I could feel her spirit over me, and my abdomen hurt like hell. And when I saw the picture in the truck, Grandmom's truck, with her, and you could see the seatbelt, and it looked like there was a stain under the seatbelt. That was right about the spot where, and my back hurt too. It was like, I just knew that he had, I don't think he intentionally did it. I think it was an accident. But if they would have found out, I think he was in a drunken rage. She tried to break them up or get in the way or something, and she accidentally got shot, and she went right down, and she wasn't dead. And if they would have done the right thing, they would have taken her to the hospital, but they didn't because they were afraid of getting in trouble again, and they were in a drunken condition, and the police would have seen this, and everything would have gone wrong. So what he did was they put her in Grandmom's truck because that's how they made up their story. They pretended that they were coming home from the watering hole or whatever it was. That was not Grandmom in the truck. That was Hunter. who said, does she have her arm up? Because she was half dead. She was half dead from loss of blood and trauma from being shot. That was a staged shot. The milk jugs were to keep her cold. And to keep her from, she didn't look right. I know that was a stage shot. That was the truck that he took her. He never stopped at the house. He was home that day. And he took her right down Beech Creek Road. He picked her up, went out the driveway, turned right. There's a spot, you can only see this on Google Earth, where it turns. On Google Maps, you can't see it because Beech Street, Ben Hill Road makes a right. But you can't really see it until it comes out way on the other side. But on the map, you can. On Google Earth, you can see that Beech Tree turns right, and it's still their property. And when I saw that, I was like, bingo, because that's where I felt that she was. She was on the northwest part of the property in an old homestead. And it was somewhere in there that he went in. He took Grandmom's truck. Now, I don't know, maybe Candace followed him and he took in the Subaru or whatever, but that's where they took the pictures to prove that they changed the times, to prove that she had been coming home from the swimming pool, the swimming hole. And Hunter knew about what happened. He may have been dropped off at home, but they had hours to kill. It wasn't Grandmom, it was Hunter who said, is her arm still up? And they dropped him off. He knew about the gun. He asked, she showed me them having, well, I heard a conversation going on between Allie and Hunter where he said, this was just said in my head. Did he get rid of the gun? And that was just out of the blue. And so I knew he knew about the gun. Those two are lying. They know a lot more than, they could have said, well, an accident happened. And I was right on the affair because I predicted that somebody was having an affair of some sort. Something, apparently the neighbor who said they heard the scream, she was lying. And they were supposed to move in together, but he was supposed to move in with her, but she lied because, but it couldn't happen because Candace and Don are Bonnie and Clyde. They have too much on each other, So anyway, then he took her to that spot. He drove in as far as he could, and he took her to that place and he put her in, she wasn't dead yet, so he drowned her in the stream. And Lucky was there too. He killed her dog. And maybe the dog was barking a lot, would have maybe led somebody up there because that was her dog. And he put the dog in first and probably threw the pistol down the well. And they will find her. She's shown me that in the fall when the leaves turn brown, they will find her and she will have peace. And she showed me Dawn hanging from a tree when the leaves turned brown, and she was smiling. And she was satisfied. She had become a ghost because she was free. And I met her up there on top of the hill. I could see the rail cart. And she showed me that she had found peace. And it was time to say goodbye. And it was like Dawn was disappearing a little bit at a time. And I believe the reason she hasn't come to me in a couple weeks, even when she didn't have anything really to tell me, I could feel her presence, is because she's haunting Dawn. I believe she was very vengeful. She was very upset at him. And she makes no bones about it. I believe she's in his head. And she is haunting him. That's why he's drunk all the time. I believe she's haunting Candace. I believe she's in the house. She's angry and she wants justice, and she will be found. And I'll make sure I send that letter to EcoSearch and tell them everything I know again, and the TBI, and say, you need to do this. You need to check this. This is where it is. I've seen it. And when I met her on the hill, when she had become a ghost, there were wildflowers around her. And I asked if she wanted to show me where her body was, and she said, she didn't answer me, but it was through thought that we spoke. And she was beautiful. She was just standing there with a little beautiful little summer dress on, and she said, "No, there's no need because I'm not there anymore." And I knew it was because I could kind of see through her, like a ghost, not the angry little spirit that was running around all the time anymore. Like, she was at peace. She was standing still, and she stood there for a while. She took my hand, and I held on to her, and then I opened my eyes, and she was back in the spot. She said, "No, I don't need to, I'm gone. I'm not there anymore." So, and I went back to the place where she had been, and I saw Dawn hanging from the tree. And then she had been in the stream also, and she smiled at me when she turned around, like this satisfied little smile, and I could see Dawn in the corner of my eye hanging from a tree. So I don't know if it literally means he's going to hang from a tree. He's going to hang himself, but I know he's not going to go to jail because he doesn't want to. So that's what I know. And, if you have any specific questions that I didn't answer, there were a lot of stuff she showed me. There was a lot of stuff. She did not mention the SA or anything like that, but I believe he's going mad because she is haunting him. She haunted me, but it was in a different way. It was because she wanted to get her information out. And, you know, these theories, I understand, but I'm going with what Summer told me. And that's how I have to do it. And she will not have peace until her body is found and until the person who did this to her is brought to justice. So, and her mother is just as responsible for not protecting her. So I think that's all I can say. And also, Don was having an affair. The cards were right. And, and maybe that's why Candace was taking up with Hunter. Because I do believe their relationship was inappropriate. And Allie had something to do with something. She's a liar. She was like all over that with Chris McDonough, that conversation at the table. She was giving him signals, texting him. I mean, they're hiding something. The whole thing stinks. I knew that in the first reading I did before I even knew anything. Lies and lies and lies were coming up in the reading. Secrets. I mean, deceptions. Oh my God, it was horrible. And but I'm going to rate Dave Rader, and I'm going to rate TBI, and tell them what I know and say, you need to do this because that's when you're going to find her. That's where she is. And a lot of people are getting close. But that's what I believe. And I'm not going along with anybody else's story. And if anybody has an argument about me, don't try to change my mind. I'm coming from the source. I'm not going from a reading, although I have read. But I don't need to. I came from the source. That's where I get most of my visitations. And I will start to do readings, yes, when, I can, when I'm working, trying to get my pages up. It's not that easy being sick, but I want to get my music page going too, because I was doing that. I was doing that for a long time. And my subs kind of blended into my psychic subs. Plus, if I have visions like of prophecies and things like that, I want to post them too. And really don't want to put them all on one page. I'd rather like separate the songs because I did have 106 subs, who like to listen to my music. And, I don't really want to add that to this, so I might have to start all over again. I already have one song, but anyway, so that's it about summer. And I'm waiting. Every time I see the leaves, we had a storm here in nor'eastern, and I saw leaves falling on the ground, and I got a little knot in my stomach, and thought it's almost time. It's almost time. And I did write a post on Don's page, a little scary post. I said, better enjoy your time in the drunk tank while you can, because you're not going to jail. Your daughter's she's gonna get her justice. Her sweet little Summer. She's angry. She's gonna get justice. She knows it. She's already shown it to me. I've already seen it. So don't come on here and argue with me about it. This is my visions. This is what I see. Like I said, I like to go by my visions. As far as Brian and Gabby, I've told you, I see it split. There's something very wrong with this case. I see the Robinson Preserve, I see the Carlton Preserve, and there's something, I think, that they're not going to match. That DNA skeleton is not going to be a match, because his skeleton is somewhere else. They may have found a mandible part with some of his teeth, maybe, since his uncle is a dentist. But I haven't really gotten. I got three things from Gabby. The third thing was three sentences, three separate conversations. There were women and men, and a man speaking in each sentence. And the man's voice was kind of booming, and the woman's voice were kind of subdued, but three separate conversations, but they were all together. I took that to be Moab, where three women died. And the man was dark. He was of Southern European descent. I could see a picture of him, but it wasn't a real picture. It was like a caricature more thing. But I knew he was of like Southern Europe, like Italian or Spanish or Mediterranean, that sort of thing, Hispanic or something like that. And that's what his mother is, so Vinci. That's where they get, and the sister looks the same. So that's what I got, and that's why I believe that Brian killed those two women too. So anyway, that's my summer summation right now, and I just have to write my letters, and we'll wait and see, because that's what I know she told me happened. So say prayers for Summer, and for Kylie and Crystal, and not for Brian. I wish he still were alive, but I do have my doubts, and I believe they didn't find him at the Carlton Preserve because he wasn't there. He was at the Robinson Preserve, hop, skip, and a jump the other way, because that's what Gabby told me. She told me about the two women, and she told me, and I heard those three separate conversations, but it was the same man in each sentence. And I saw what the man looked like. I knew where he was from, or his heredity was from. So that's what I have. I'll talk to you soon. Love you all. Bye.